Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for another training webinar. Today we will take a deep dive into Nimble's contact listing and cover how you can segment your database using various fields. We will also cover what are some of the next steps you can take as you create segmented lists, like having segments and sharing them with your team, sending group messages, using stay in touch reminders, and also how you can use the segmentation to come up with empty contact records you might not even need to have in your database. Again, if you have any questions or feedback, let us know in the questions box. And before we get started, I just want to take a second to go over what Nimble is. So for those of you that are either new to Nimble or thinking about trialing it, Nimble is an easy-to-use CRM that works for you in Office 365, G Suite, and everywhere else you work. It automatically combines your contacts, communication histories, email inboxes, and calendar appointments. It also integrates with social media and with over 200 different applications like MailChimp, Xero, Outlook Contacts, etc. For today's webinar, we'll jump right into how to use Nimble segmentation and group messaging. If you're interested in an overall demo of the application, you can either head to our YouTube channel and watch one of our previous webinars. The latest one will be from last week, or you can register for the next general Nimble overview we are hosting next week. So Nettie, if you don't mind dropping a link to both the YouTube channel and the webinar page so that people can sign up for whatever one they want, that would be really helpful. So this is the Nimble Today page. This is going to be the first page that you see when you log into Nimble. And even though Nimble has a lot of features, it's also a contact database at its heart. You can bring your contacts into Nimble from multiple sources, including CSV files, Outlook, Google Contacts, vCards, social media, and third-party integrations, and more. So to do that, you would go to this top button right here, go to Networks and Imports, and you can see all the different places that you can bring your contacts in. So once your contacts are in Nimble, they will all show up under the Contacts tab here. So in addition to adding contacts in bulk through the page that I was just on, the Networks and Imports page, contacts and companies can also be created individually using the Add Person and Add Company buttons at the top of the page here. So start by clicking an Add a Person button. And then this screen will come up, and with the option to add the person's name, title, company, email address, and phone number. So you can also click Continue Editing to add more information. So I will just use myself as an example. Content Manager. And then if I were to continue editing, it would show me if I had any duplicates. I can change this to the primary contact if there was. I could merge the contacts or skip and create. I forgot to mention that on the prior screen, you could also set the privacy settings, which is a newer feature of Nimble. So you could create contacts that are only visible to you or to certain teams or whatever you need to do to ensure the privacy of your contacts. Oh, right here. So you could share with everyone, you can make it private to the owner, you can make it viewable to everyone, or you can customize the privacy. So you can also select Add a Company, and this will provide you with the option to enter a name and domain for the company. You can also click Continue Editing to add more information. So I will just use Nimble as an example. And you can see that there are 6 duplicates for Nimble. So I could merge the duplicates from this screen as well and change this to primary, but I'm not going to because this one should be the primary. So that's how you would do it one-off from this screen. Nimble will automatically sort your contacts into their designated filters. To the left, you can see all of the filters available. So you have all contacts, which is a view of all of you and your team's companies and contacts. You have people, so that would just be the people that are not companies in your database. Companies would just be the companies. Marked as important would be all the contacts that you've started to mark as important. Recently viewed would be people that you've seen, or the last 30 contacts you've recently viewed. Recently added is obviously everyone that you recently added. And recently contacted are contacts that were recently contacted by your team via email or Twitter. So only public conversations are shared. Private conversations do not factor into this feature. You can also see who you set a stay in touch reminder for and your removed contacts here. So you can view the contacts in your trash bin and permanently delete them. Your account administrator may also set up an interval for automatic deletion of contacts. By default, this is set for 60 days. You can also use the configure table button on the right-hand side right here to customize the contact listing table to fit your needs. So you can add any existing contact fields, you can reorder the columns, or you can pin the columns. So you would just drag and drop them to reflect the order that you need to see them in. So you can also click on the segment search button here to build actionable lists of contacts based on any fields you have stored with our streamlined segmentation feature. An example of this could be people with influence scores above 500 or people I talked to in the last 30 days. So you can use any of our quick filters or select any existing or custom field you or anybody on your team may have created using the Add Contact Filter button. You can create multiple groups and use and/or logic between them. You can save your most used segments for easy access as well. Your filters, sorting preferences, and custom organizations will be accessible in one click from the left panel under the My Segments button right here. And you can also share the saved list with your team. So as an example, let's just do last contacted by me in the last 30 days. But I'm going to use and. Email address is not empty. So you can see that I've created this list of 29 contacts, and these are everybody that I've contacted in the last 30 days and that have an email address associated with them. So once I have that list, I can select all of them. You can either mark them as important, you can tag them, you could set a stay in touch reminder, I could change the contact owner or the privacy, you can export them, or you can send a group message. You can also delete them from this screen, but I'm not going to do that. So I clicked on the group message button from that view. So on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see the list of recipients of your message. All people or people and companies, depending on what contact type you selected that you have emails for, will show up under the recipient subtab. Those contacts you don't have emails for would appear under this Errors tab here. So when you click on the Errors tab, each contact that's missing an email address would have a green button next to them. I obviously have all the emails because one of the tags that we used for this was people with email addresses. So after clicking on the green button that would show up, you'd be able to use our contact discovery feature. So as long as you know the person's first name, last name, and the company domain, Nimble will be able to find their contact information for you. Our contact discovery feature is an add-on, but each user of the Nimble Business Manager plan gets 25 credits per month. Every time you use the green button anywhere in the app or on Nimble Prospector, which is our browser extension, and Nadia, if you don't mind dropping the link to the Prospector page so people can get more information on that, you would be charged 1 credit. So you can check the status of your credits under Settings, Billings, and Account Usage. So Settings, Billing, and then you can see the account usage here. But let's go back to the group message section. So when composing an email, you have the option to choose from which email account you want the group message to go out of. So you could see here, I have a couple email addresses that I could use that I've connected to Nimble. So you can connect as many email accounts as you want, as long as they're IMAP accounts. You can also use merge tags. So merge tags, aka variables, make it easy to personalize messages that are sent to larger lists. So this way your message will look like you have done your homework and you're worth your customer's time. So we have the following merge tags available: first name, last name, and title and company. So once you add that merge tag, the person's first name would come up and it personalizes the email a little bit. So once you're happy with your email, you would select Send to List to send out your message. You may also choose to send a test email to yourself to see what it looks like, as well as whether you would like to track this message. So you can either don't track it or it automatically tracks it. Sending yourself a test message is a good idea as it gives you the opportunity to double check that everything looks good and that there are no typos in the message, all links work, and all attachments are attached. To help you save time on retyping the same message over and over again, you can use Nimble's templates. So you can choose the template that you want up here. And you can also just save a message as a template for future use by selecting the Save as New Template button before sending your message. So once you create a template, it will be available beneath the Select Template option on the group message screen here. If you'd rather pre-create a bunch of email templates, you can also go back to the settings screen. And you can go to Email Settings, and then you can click on the Add Template button. And you can, this brings up our template editor where you can insert all of your email fields, including attachments and merge tags. It's best to create your templates in Nimble or within a Google Doc. When copied and pasted, some systems such as Microsoft Word have been known to cause strange characters to appear in the body of an email after it's sent. You can always test whether these characters will appear by first sending a test message to yourself. Templates must not be written in HTML and must be text only. In Nimble, you can create hyperlinks, add images, and customize your fonts. So you can also view reports on all of your group messages. So we'll go back to the group messages screen. And then you can go back to list, and you can see all of the emails that were sent at that time. So our group messaging reporting dashboard displays an overview of tracking information for each sent group message. This includes how many messages were sent, when the last activity occurred, and your open and click rates for each message. So to access your group message report, you would go to the group messages tab like I just went to, and you would click on the subject of any sent group message. So right here, and our reporting dashboard will display the contacts you've sent to, who has opened or clicked on your message, when it happened, and how many times they've done so. Additionally, you may view who has not yet opened your message. You can also take further action from your group messages reports to send follow-up messages or tag the contacts. At the top of the report, select some or all. I'm going to select all recipients, and then you can click Add a Tag to tag these contacts for later, or click Send Message to send a follow-up message. If you're receiving too many open click notifications from a particular contact, you can also choose to mute the conversation. So simply select the contact you would like to mute, and the mute button becomes active and will appear in red at the top of the screen. So you can click on the word mute to determine how long you would like to mute the conversation. So you could do it for a day, 2 days, or forever. So when you're ready to turn on notifications for the contact, you can simply select the contact again and click the unmute button. The mute option is available for in-app, Gmail, and desktop notifications. Open and click tracking will still be counted in the background. To ensure you follow up at the best time, we give you the option to enable in-app and desktop notifications for group messaging, opens, and clicks. To enable this, you would navigate to Settings, right here, Notifications, and you would check the box to enable desktop notifications. So that would be the second one from the bottom, and then you would just click on the browser and desktop. Allow. So once desktop notifications are enabled, you'll see notifications whenever a recipient opens or clicks on your message. Click on the notification to see the message report, so you may engage with your contacts at the right time. You can also set up an email signature in Nimble, which is very easy to do. So you can insert an image from your desktop, customize your fonts, and include hyperlinks without needing to code in HTML. Also, if you already have a signature in Gmail, Apple Mail, or another email client, all you have to do is copy and paste it into Nimble. So you would just go to Email Settings, and your email signature is totally editable here. We also have an unsubscribe list option. For any bulk email outreach, it's polite and very important to give your recipients the ability to opt out. With GDPR and CAN spam, An opt-out needs to be included in any of your unsolicited email outreaches. When someone unsubscribes from your email, you will no longer be able to send group messages to them at that specific email address. You will still be able to send a one-on-one email to this contact, but the purpose of the unsubscribe button is to give both email recipients the option to opt out. The unsubscribe list is visible in your email settings right here, and will display all contacts who have unsubscribed to your bulk email outreaches. If someone explicitly asks to be resubscribed, you may whitelist their email address here to add the user back to your bulk email communication. In addition to being able to see who has unsubscribed, you will also see who your team members have unsubscribed and are whitelisted along with the date and the reason. So that basically covers everything I wanted to talk about regarding group messaging and segmentation. So I hope that that presentation was helpful. Let me go back to my presentation. I just wanted to take a second to talk about the next training webinars. So tomorrow, actually, we have an influencer webinar with Craig Jameson, and he is a sales expert. And he will go through a day in the life of a salesperson using Nimble CRM. And then next week on Wednesday, we'll have a Nimble 101 general overview. And we'll also show you how to go over how to use the Nimble mobile app. And then on the 14th, we'll have another influencer webinar with Liz Hyman to show you how to increase sales with the sales operating system. And then at the end of January, we will go over contact cleanup strategies. So again, if you haven't done so already, Nadia, if you could just drop a link to the webinars page, that would be very great. We also have a special offer for new users today. So if you sign up for Nimble, you can get a free 30-day trial. And if you're also already in trial, you can definitely reach out to care@nimble.com and we will extend your trial for you. So I'm ready to take any questions that you guys might have. So let me just get my questions doc ready. Vivek is asking, when I add a person as a contact, their company is automatically added as a contact. Is there a way to prevent this because sometimes the company they work for is not relevant, or work around a tag identify companies to those contacts and filter them out? So you're saying that when you add the contact to the database, that it automatically creates a contact record for their company as well. Unfortunately, yeah, that's something that Nimble automatically does on your behalf. But you can also merge the contact and make, or you can merge the company and you can make one of them the primary company contact, and you can weed out the companies that way. Chris is asking, can you insert any artwork, logos to email templates? And yes, you would just click on the image icon in the template. And right here, and then you could add an image. Chris is asking, unsubscribe. How do you add this to an email blast? Is it a link or just add it as verbiage? So in the template, you can see that there's an option to add an unsubscribe link. So you can edit the text that displays and add the link to unsubscribe. Mia is asking, is there an Outlook integration within Nimble so users who prefer to send messages within Outlook can do so and not use the messaging credits within Nimble? We do have an Outlook integration, but I do believe that if you were to send, I don't think that you could send a group message from that. Yeah. Jenny is asking, can you have more than one email signature? So let's go to settings. Yeah, it looks like you can only have one email signature at this time. But in case you need multiple signatures, you can save them as templates and append the templates to the email form. So you could create an email template with the signature that you want and save it as a new template, and then just use that template whenever you wanted to use that signature. Garrett is asking, is there a button to clear all? Is there a way to clear the formatting if copy pasted text into email? I think you're asking if you could just like remove everything from the email, and it doesn't appear that we have that option, but I'll definitely tell our product team that that's a great idea to implement. Chris is asking unsubscribe follow-up question. Does the system create the link automatically? No, it doesn't. So you would have to manually add it and apply it to each email. Because sometimes, like if you're sending a group message like internally, you don't really need an unsubscribe link, so we don't put it in there automatically. Me is asking, can you walk through how the tags work with contacts or messages? Sure. So I'll go to the report. So if I were to select all of these people, I can add a tag. So I could say Wednesday outreach. What day is it? 1/6/21. So getting used to saying 2021. And then you can add the tag. Okay. So then it would show up under my tags, and I can pull up those contacts and say they hadn't responded to my email in a couple of days. I could send them another group message or mark them as important or set a stay in touch reminder, which is pretty handy if you're trying to keep in consistent contact with someone. So you could set it for weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, or you can set a custom period if you wanted to. So I hope that answered your question. Is there a localization available for the merge tag title in German? I'll have to get back to you on that. Nadia, if you don't mind starring that question, and we can, I'll follow up with our care team to see if that is something that we're capable of doing. And yeah, Vivek is asking the same question about adding a person as a contact and their company is automatically added. Yeah, so that's just going to happen every time you add a contact into Nimble, but I will ask our care team what the best workaround is for that as well. Angie's asking, back to the unsubscribe, how do we develop the link? So, oh, sorry. So yeah, you would push the unsubscribe link button, edit the text, and then use the unsubscribe link that you have for all of your other email sends, which should be part of your website. Vivica is asking if I add an email signature to an email template, will the default email signature also be applied, or can I prevent the default email signature from being used? No, it wouldn't automatically be applied. If you save it as a template, it would use the signature that you were using when you set the template up. Me is asking, I see activities tab on the menu. Is there more features on workflow management that cross-reference contacts? So this is the activities tab. The listing feature is typically what people use to view their tasks. And yes, you can relate contacts to any of the tasks that you have. So we offer the quick filters of tasks, events, calls, or completed tasks. You can also create custom activities for whatever you need to make for your company. And then under each one, you would just add a related contact to the task. And then you can access all of your interaction history with this person and add notes and send them a message if you wanted to as well. Following up on the earlier question, if I have a templated WordPress website, is it possible to have subscriptions from my contact form on the website send new subs to Nimble as new contact? What's the best links, guides, docs to learn more about this? So let's see if we integrate with WordPress. Yeah, so it doesn't look like we have a direct integration with WordPress. So I would think that you could probably export the subscriptions from WordPress and like in a CSV file, and then add them to Nimble that way via our import wizard. But that's a good idea, and I will definitely forward that to our product team so that we can work on getting that set up. How to deal with company duplicates with separate content in each. I think you're talking about merging companies. So let's see. So if I were to go to add a company and like nimble.com and click on the continue editing button, you could see that 6 of the duplicates came up. And what you would do would be to, you would merge the contacts, and you would also set the primary contact that you wanted to have like the main information for. Khalil's asking, if I want to categorize companies that are subscribed to multiple programs, how can we create custom fields wherein we can assign one or more programs to that company? If I could respond to you one-off after the webinar, that would be great, because I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information about custom fields, and I'm still kind of learning about them myself, so I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. So we'll definitely follow up with you at the end of the webinar. Megan is asking, is the maximum number of contacts you can send a group message to 100 at a time? And am I correct in understanding that under a paid subscription, you can send 100 group messages before needing to pay more? Yeah, so we keep the list small for a couple reasons, mostly so that you don't get flagged as spam. So for larger sends, I would definitely recommend something like MailChimp. And yeah, even under a paid subscription, you can pay for upgrades as well. So let me just go to the page. Messaging. So yeah, you would have 100 per user per day. So you just would have to wait until the next day if you wanted to send another outreach. Yes, Viveka, I will also provide the same information about custom fields. Okay, doesn't look like we have any more. Or wait. What is delivery like for group messages compared to MailChimp? I don't think I understand the question, but let me take a stab at what I think you mean. So you could choose which email address you want to use, and it would look as though it came from that email address instead of an automated system. And again, like we just discussed, there's a send limit of 100 per user per day, which is obviously a lot smaller of a segment than MailChimp allows you to send to. So hope that's helpful. James is asking, how soon will this video be posted? We typically send out a follow-up email within a couple hours after the webinar is finished. Gary is asking, is the 100 per user per day related to the credits? In reference to the email finding credits, no, that's different. Those would be the prospecting credits. So that would be 25 credits per user per month. And there are upgrades available, so $10 for 100 extra credits. But the enrichment credits would not go towards your email sends. Okay, I think that is it for questions. So thank you for joining us today, and hopefully we see you at the next training webinar. And if you have any more questions, definitely feel free to reach out at care@nimble.com, and we'll help you as best we can. And I know I have some follow-ups I need to do with some other people that ask questions, so we'll definitely get back to you. But again, thank you very much, and have a good rest of your day.